Hey everyone, welcome back to Michigan Ambush Outdoors. So this week I'm super excited to talk to you guys about the new Sevr Broadhead that was released for the 2020 hunting season. I'm a huge fan of Sevr Broadheads. I've shot them before in the past and I think they fly flawlessly. My only complaint specifically to the Sevr 2.1 was that the penetration was not that great. I shot a deer in 2019 at 25 yards and did not get a clean pass through. And for me personally, I feel that a clean pass through is something that all broadhead manufacturers should strive for. And the reason that I say that is because if you do not see that deer or that animal tip over in front of you, that arrow can tell you a lot about the shot. And especially for me, I ended up hitting that deer a little further back. So if I would have had that arrow, I would have been able to identify if I had just a straight through gut shot or in my case, back of the lungs liver shot. I would have known whether or not to approach that deer or to leave that deer overnight. Luckily, I gave that deer about 4 hours and I did end up finding him. Like I said, it was back of the lungs liver shot. But again, having that arrow and having the ability to get clean pass-throughs, especially at 25 yards, is pretty critical. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and dive into the specifications about this broadhead, and we're going to talk about some of the new changes that Sevr's bringing to the table in 2020. So this broadhead has a titanium ferrule with stainless steel blades. The blades are swept back in the ferrule, which actually create a very aerodynamic broadhead. Now this is a deploy on impact broadhead, and the way that they achieve that is because of those front tabs. As those hit hide, they fling these blades open. So what's nice about that is you're actually going to get a 2-inch cut on the entrance and then also the exit hole. What makes these broadheads stand out from other broadheads on the market is the fact that they lock when open. So they're not going to be able to close after they deploy. What else is really unique and specific to the Sevr Broadheads is the fact that they have these swivel blades. Now Sevr did a video on this, and I'm going to loop it in this video because I think it's very important to show you how these blades and how this swivel design avoids deflection. You can see in the video that a Rage tri-pan goes through, does not swivel, hits that bone and deflects that arrow, whereas the Sevr Broadhead swivels and continues down its same path and straightens back out, so you're not losing any of that max cut. Where that is definitely beneficial is when you're getting some of those bad shots. And again, like if you have a straightforward lung shot, a little bit of deflection is not going to hurt. But in my case, hitting that deer farther back in 2019, if I would have hit bone and had that arrow deflect, it could have been either resulted in the back of the lungs or just a clean gut shot. So I think that that is a very beneficial thing to look for in a broadhead. Now, Sevr markets these broadheads as field point accurate, and as I mentioned before, I can definitely attest to that. These things are super accurate. I've shot these at various yardages, 20, 30, 40, 50, and they're pretty much spot on. And what I really like about the Sevr broadheads is they give you the ability to lock these blades in place. So when you're practicing, you're actually practicing with a field tip that you're gonna hunt with, whereas other manufacturers just give you a practice field tip that may not fly the same as your actual broadhead. So I really like that about the Sevr. What's also really nice about these broadheads is some of the design changes that are gonna give you a 15% increase in penetration, and we're gonna go over that real quick here. So this is a close-up look at the Sevr 2.0. And you can definitely see compared to the 2.1 that these blades are definitely more on a swept back angle. I'm going to show you like an overlaid comparison here in a second, but I want to quickly talk about some of the design changes that they implemented. The first thing that stood out to me is definitely these tabs on this Sevr Broadhead. They don't stick out nearly as far as they do on the 2.1, which is ultimately going to create less resistance as it's going through the animal. And then also you have more cutting surface exposed due to the fact that those tabs are smaller. Just to show you a comparison of the Sevr 2.1, you can see that those tabs stick out quite a bit, again creating resistance when going through the animal. And then also if you look really closely, you can see that those tabs do block a lot of that cutting surface right here, again creating more resistance. So I think with those 3 design changes, you're definitely going to get more penetration. Now you can kind of see how swept back those blades actually are compared to the 2.1. Now keep in mind mind that these are 125 grain broadheads. So let's check them on the scale and see how close each one of them is. So this broadhead, the first one's coming in at 125 grains even. The second head is coming in at 125.2 grains. And then the third head is coming in at 125.4 grains. So as I mentioned before in the video, I'm not doing any destructive type test on the Sevr Broadhead. I don't believe in shooting broadheads into cinder blocks. I mean, there's plenty of videos out there that do that. If you guys want to go check that out, you can on another video. But one thing that I did want to do with the Sevr Broadhead is I did want to test to see if the cut was true to a 2-inch cut. So what I did is I actually shot into a 2-liter pop bottle. And I'm going to show you the footage of that now. So to make this more visible, I actually highlighted the cutting area with a Sharpie. So again, this would make it more visible. Without this, you guys would not see that cut. But you can see here on that bottle, if I move my finger, that you are getting a 2-inch cut off these broadheads. So as I mentioned before, this was in no way meant to be a destructive type of test to this broadhead. I just wanted to simply shoot this broadhead through a pop bottle to ensure that you are in fact getting a 2-inch cut. Sevr's spot on with their measurement in that regards. Now there were a couple things that happened after the result of this test, which I was surprised by, and I feel like it's worth sharing with you guys. Take a listen to this broadhead after going through a pop bottle and just hitting a flimsy styrofoam broadhead target. This broadhead is rattling. Now if I take a broadhead fresh out of the box, never shot, there's no rattle to that broadhead whatsoever. Again, so you guys can hear it, this broadhead's rattling quite a bit. I'm not sure why that's happening. So that's definitely a concern. The next concern that I have is I cannot get this blade to close. Now, if you're familiar with Sevr broadheads, there's two ways to get these broadheads to close. Either you can use the tool that comes with the Sevr package, or if you have a fresh broadhead that's never been shot, and then sometimes even broadheads that have been shot, you can put a little bit of pressure on both blades and you can get them to close very easily. I've tried that with this broadhead multiple times. I cannot get this thing to close. And I also use this tool as well, and I still cannot get this thing to close, which leads me to believe that these these blades actually bent by going through this pop bottle and hitting that soft styrofoam target. Now, is that going to be the case for all the Sevr broadheads? Are they going to bend that easy? I'm not sure. But again, I just felt like this information was definitely worth sharing with you guys, especially if you're new to Sevr and you're new for shopping for broadheads for the 2020 hunting season. So anyways, that is it for this video. That's going to conclude it. I will end by saying I am still a big fan of Sevr broadheads. I will run Sevr broadheads for the 2020 season. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to run the 2.0 or the 1.5. I know I will not be running the 2.1 because of the lack of penetration that you get. However, as I mentioned before, I do like a big cut broadhead, so I'm definitely leaning more to the 2.0. I just want to see which one flies better out of my new Mathews VXR. Like I said, that's it for this video. I hope you guys found it beneficial. If you are new to the channel, please make sure that you subscribe. It does us a great deal of help. It supports us and allows us to keep cranking out these videos, and it lets us know that you guys are liking the content we put out. Also hit that bell notification so you guys are notified next time we release a new video. And then if you guys haven't checked out the Michigan Ambush Outdoors webpage, please make sure to go over and do so. We have some hats and shirts and beanies available for sale. It's not a requirement for anyone to purchase it, but at least go check out the site and let us know what you guys think about it. You can go to that site at miambushoutdoors.com. I'll put a link in the description below. As always, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. We greatly appreciate your guys' support, and we will see you on the next one.